Welcome back into Alston Parker Watt Field on the campus of Washington and Lee University for some first-round action in the NCAA Women's Soccer Tournament Division III between the Ohio Northern University Polar Bears versus the Sewanee Tigers. We had some earlier action on this field already between the Generals of Washington and Lee and the Farmingdale State Rams, but the Generals pulling out a 3-0 victory in that earlier contest, and now the winner of this game decides who will go on to face the Generals in the next round. Both of these teams, just as the other two teams we saw earlier, they fought long and hard to get to this point in the season, and now it's do or die point for both of these squads as they try to advance on to the second round. But I'm Shane Riley, pleased to be with you on NCAA.com website ahead of some great NCAA tournament action between these two teams that have, as I said, fought long and hard seasons. Let's take a look into both of these teams and how they've gotten to the NCAA tournament. First, for the Ohio Northern Bears, they competed in the Ohio Athletic Conference this season and ended up pulling out a conference championship, winning their last matchup out against John Carroll by a final score of 3-2 to book their ticket to the NCAA tournament. And then when you take a look at the other side, the Sewanee Tigers, they won their Southern Athletic Association Conference Championship by a final score of 4-0 against Rhodes College. So definitely a little bit more of an assertive win on their side of the way things have panned out, but both teams winning their conference championships to make it to the NCAA tournament. And if we take a quick look at how the bracket is shaping up on this side of it, of the bracket so far, Washington and Lee, as we talked about earlier, coming away with a 3-0 victory against Farmingdale State. As you can see, Sewanee and Ohio Northern about to tip, or rather kick off underway in just a few minutes. When we scroll down, take a look at William Smith versus Penn State Harrisburg. William Smith got the win 2-1 earlier today. And Tufts and Rowan about to kick off just about now as well. Pomona, Pitzer, and UC Santa Cruz, as well as Cal Lutheran and Trinity, Texas, have yet to kick off yet. As you can see, 2 p.m. for Pomona, Pitzer, and then 4:30 for Cal Lutheran. Scranton versus Marywood right now. Scranton currently up 3-0 over Marywood, looking to advance to the next round. And then Wesleyan, Connecticut, and SUNY Brockport yet to kick off yet. We zoom back out to the full bracket, and all those results will be decided by the end of this game. Or, sorry, the end of this day, rather. And now, moving into each team's starting lineups, the rosters that they're unveiling for this NCAA tournament matchup. First, for the Ohio Northern Polar Bears, in goal, number 00 from Dayton, Ohio, it's Emma Gramke. And then next up is number 2 from Bellbrook, Ohio, it's number 2, Jill Roberts, the senior forward. Then it's number 3, the senior forward, Elizabeth Pierce. Then it's number 6, the senior midfielder, Emma Bowman. Then it's number 8, the junior defender, Claire Wiseman. Number 9, the sophomore defender, Caroline Hennigan. Number 10, the senior midfielder, Alyssa Beckett. Number 18, the senior midfielder, Libby Johnson. Number 22, the senior midfielder, Brianna Gerbers. Number 27, the senior defender, Jess Gast. And lastly, rounding out their starting lineup is the senior defender, number 30, Kylie Cabana. And Ohio Northern are led by head coach Ben Turney and assistant coaches Damon Spieth and Cameron Hunter. And now taking a look at the other side of the field and the starters for Sewanee. In goal, it's the fifth year senior, number 1, Leah Adkins. And number 3, the junior defender, Lacey Carter. Number 4, the senior forward, Brianna Fay. Number 9, the freshman defender, Sonia Jarosevic. Number 11, the sophomore midfielder, Stella Martin. Also number 10, the junior midfielder, Kylene Monahan. The senior defender, number 19, Olivia Fay. Number 22, the senior defender, Kate Thompson. Number 23, the senior midfielder, Caroline Pulliam. Number 33, the senior midfielder, Ashlyn Richards. And rounding out Sewanee's starting lineup is number 34, the senior forward, Samantha Ferry.
And now for the Tigers starting lineup. Starting in goal, a fifth year from Marietta, Georgia, number 1.
As I said before, both of these teams winning their conference championship to make it this far into the season. We take a look at the overall records of both these teams. Ohio Northern sitting at 14-5-1 overall. They've had a really good season, 8-1 in conference play, and currently on a 6-game win streak. They actually have a better record away from home than they do when they're at home. 7-4 at home on the season, 7-1-1 away from home for the Polar Bears. And then on the opposite side of the field for Sewanee, sitting at 13-1-4 in conference play, or overall conference play, 6-0 overall, and 7-1-4 outside of conference play. They're 8-0 at home, 3-0-3 away from home, and their one loss coming on the season at a neutral site. They are actually as well on a large winning streak at this point, up to 8 games consecutively that they've played now without a loss. So both of these teams with a long win streak riding on the line. And both teams trying to maintain that win streak and not fall out of the tournament early in this first round. Both teams have very good offenses, scoring a lot of goals on the season. Defensively, both teams also very potent on that side of the ball. When you take a look at Sewanee and how their defense is shaped up in some of these games, they have not conceded more than 1 goal in any single contest this season, only conceding a total of 4 goals the entire season, 38 goals that they've scored themselves. And then taking a look at the other side for the Ohio Northern roster, they've conceded just a few goals on the season. A couple times they've conceded twice in a game, but a few clean sheets for them. They conceded 2 goals in their conference championship finals victory over John Carroll. So a little bit more of a porous defense, if you will, than Sewanee, but both teams have a knack for scoring goals. Numerous times this season, both teams have scored over 5 goals in a game. So both teams know what they're doing out there. They both won their conference championships, so both in the mode of do or die as the NCAA tournament brings on that kind of pressure. It is win or go home time. The winner of this contest will go on to face W&L, who beat Farmingdale State earlier today. But it's all about right now for both of these teams and focusing on the task at hand. Some keys to this game for both sides. It really is about controlling the emotions. We saw in that first game, sometimes the emotions can get the best of you and cause some unforced errors and some mistakes and some fouls that perhaps you wouldn't normally commit when you're in a regular season kind of game or a normal frame of mind, as teams often are during that time of the year. But once it gets to this time of the year, it's everything matters. Every play matters so much more than they have all year long. It's about controlling that emotion, and getting started early and quickly for both of these teams will be very important. See who can dominate the possession. See who can control the flow of play. Play the game at their pace. Those will be the most important factors for both of these squads if they're going to try to come out of today with the victory and advance to the second round of NCAA tournament tomorrow. But here we go. Sewanee versus the Ohio Northern Polar Bears. Sewanee Tigers versus the Ohio Northern Polar Bears to get things going. There's a good crowd for both fan bases. We saw that in the first half. Obviously, the Generals on their home field, so they had a decent fan base, but Sewanee and Ohio Northern have a decent traveling crowd here to come on and support their squads. Game getting underway here. Both teams jostling for possession in the Ohio Northern half of the field. So Ohio Northern defenders just possessing the ball, working it around their back line at the moment. It's also important if there is a goal at any moment, how the other team responds, how they come back after that, after a potential goals being scored. We saw again in that last game, the Generals got 2 quick goals in quick succession in the first half. And then Farmingdale State Rams responded well, played good defense, just couldn't get anything going offensively in this one. We'll see how that factors in. If there is a goal scored at any moment in this game, how will these teams respond and react to falling down perhaps by a goal? Ball just passed around on the far side of the field right now. Ferry for Sewanee trying to track it down. It'll be Fee on the far side to take the throw. Sewanee early in this game keeping possession inside the Ohio Northern half and able to win a corner there is Ferry. The ball deflected off of Ohio Northern defender, and an early set-piece opportunity just 2 minutes into this game. We'll see what kind of effort on this corner kick the Tigers will try to put in, whether they'll play it short. It looks like nobody will come up short, and everybody stacking in that 8-yard box. Few of the players now coming out. Ball comes in right to the box. Left out. Good effort there. Put in, believe that's by Monahan. Just knocking that ball right over the crossbar. Monahan unable to keep it down, but a good effort off that corner and an early shot attempt for the Tigers. Rampy's kick takes a few deflections, and then Carter comes in, commits the foul. So Ohio Northern will have a chance to bring their midfielders up, alleviate some of the pressure they've been facing in the first couple minutes. Cabana, the one who took the kick. Dispossessed, though, in the midfield by Ohio Northern. It's Martin with it. She loses the ball, though. Cleared out. Up to Jill Roberts. Now with Wiseman. She boots it forward. Finds Roberts again. Roberts trying to get it out onto the wing. Looking for Pierce. Can't do so. Ball back to Sewanee. Northern inaccurate with that pass. Gives it back to Sewanee. And boot it long forward. Fee trying to track that one down. Unable to do so. To note, Olivia Fee and Brianna Fee, siblings out there on the field for Sewanee. Saw that in the last game, too, with the Generals, with Zimmerman, the Zimmerman sisters. Some family action out there on the field today. Once again, the ball ends up in the back line with Cabana. She switched it over. Ball booted long up the flanks. by Roberts. She's looking. And what an excellent goal there by number 29. Didn't see who put that one in the back of the net, but a missile put in onto Leah Atkins, who's unable to grab that ball.
By number 29, Julia Flanagan.
It's Julia Flanagan, the one who scored that goal for Ohio Northern. So getting off the mark early are the Polar Bears. A missile pulled up from distance well beyond 18-yard box, and Flanagan able to find the back of the net to get the Polar Bears an early 1-0 lead. What an absolute strike. The Polar Bears have been pushed back into their defensive end, but just one opportunity to move forward. Flanagan decided to pull up from deep and able to slot home a big early goal for the Ohio Northern Polar Bears. Sewanee looked like they were a little caught off guard there, and goalkeeper Leah Atkins was just unable to grab that ball. It was in her hands and then slipped right out. For Sewanee now, such an early goal in this game. It'll be really important for them how they respond, how they're able to keep their composure. As I said, caught them a little bit off guard there with that shot, and the fact that it ended up in the back of the net. It's only their 5th goal conceded all season long, so certainly unfamiliar territory for the Tigers. Tigers winning the ball back on a free kick. Comes all the way through. Fee trying to play it. End up at the feet of Monahan, who then gets it to Jurosovic. Ohio Northern demonstrating that they can handle this pressure from the Sewanee offense. Did a really good job on that goal just a few minutes ago of getting quickly out on the counterattack and taking their opportunity, putting an accurate shot right in onto goal, and find themselves with this 1-0 lead with about 8 minutes elapsed in this first half. Another foul committed by Ohio Northern. It'll be a free kick opportunity again from similar location that they had the last one. Thompson, the one to take it. Sewanee now moving up the near side flank with Carter to take the throw. So Ohio Northern near side defense has had the ball a lot early in this game. Seems that Sewanee like to attack from their right side of the field. Crossed in by Jurasovic. Put in by Monahan. Unable to control it his feet, but the ball back to the Ohio Northern backline, who then clear it forward out of play. They're going to say the ball went out rather early in that clearance, so the ball will stay positioned well forward for Sewanee, but they throw that ball right out of play. It'll be keeper Gramke back there for the Polar Bears. Good pass there, executed by Monahan. The clearance out. Sewanee keeping it with their back line. A really good pass forward. Here comes Pierce. Up on the left flank, trying to wait for her teammates to come forward. She puts it back to Roberts, who then puts it immediately in. Crosses that ball in. Pierce crosses it in now. The ball sails right over the heads of all teammates and defenders. Attempting to dribble there on the far side. It's Olivia Fee, but she's unable to keep it in play. The Ohio Northern offense just dumps the ball out of play for a Sewanee goal kick. It'll be Thompson to take the kick. She boots it long. Sewanee win the possession. So far, Ohio Northern have really been pushed back into their own defensive half, but the early goal by Flanagan, well out of the box, about 30 yards out, she attempted that shot. All that they've needed so far in this contest. Teams again just jostling for possession, trying to find how they can get this ball forward. Sewanee trailing early, 1-0. Just about 31 minutes left to go in this half. And relentless trying to get the ball forward on offense. A really great run here by Martin. Trying to find the space to cross it in, but loses the ball in the far corner. End up in the feet of Pierce. Pierce then gets the ball up to her teammate Roberts. She's unable to track it down. Ball sails just a little bit too far out of play. For Sewanee, they have to like the possession that they've had in this first half. Obviously trailing by that goal, but doing a good job getting the ball forward as they steal it. Does Fee. And stolen back again by Ferry. Trying to center it into one of her teammates. That ball looked like it may have hit the hand of Flanagan. Referee not seeing it. Now Sewanee once again trying to work their way forward. Here's Fee with it on the far side. She gets it knocked away, and then the ball sailed, cleared out of play by the Polar Bears defense, which has done a really good job of handling this Sewanee pressure. Not allowing these crosses to come in, forcing inaccurate passes, forcing some deflections. You see another one there, but it will end up as a Sewanee corner. The second corner of the first half for the Tigers. For Sewanee, it'll be Richards to take it. She boots it in short. Comes off the head of the goal scorer, Flanagan. Right back out, though, for another corner that Richards will take. Opted to go short to the near post on these first two attempts. We'll see where they go here. Once again on the near post. Again, headed away by Flanagan. Ball still in, though, for the Tigers. But back out to Richards on the left flank. Good cross in. Foot to it. Did Martin. But ball sailed well over the crossbar. So once again, this Polar Bears defense is holding strong these first 17 minutes. I'm going to say a foul committed by Ohio Northern, tucking on the shirt a little bit. All their players are going to sit back into their defensive positions. Sewanee out to play it short. Thompson. A good cross. Looking for the head of Fee, who was trailing right in onto goal. But another big defensive play to step up and deflect that out for Ohio Northern. Take the throw in the corner. Strasovic. Throws it again. So it sails over the head of everybody. And Roberts fighting for the ball. Sewanee winning it back again, doing a really good job of keeping the pressure on and maintaining possession. Ohio Northern really haven't had strung together possession really at all into Sewanee's half of the field. They do have the goal, though, because of an excellent shot by Flanagan. Kramke trying to find Roberts. Rather Pierce. Pearson. Gervers fighting for the ball. Roberts gets bodied right in the midfield. Ohio Northern coach. Bit of a explosive expression after that foul. Thinking that maybe he wasn't going to get the call. Center referee telling him, be patient. I'll come around for the call for you if it's a foul. Clear foul there committed by Sewanee defense. Cabana for Ohio Northern to take the free kick. She boots it right over the heads of really every player in the box, and it'll be Atkins to pick it up for the Tigers. So as I said before, both of these teams winning their conference championships, both on a decent win streak. 8 games consecutively won for the Tigers, and For the Polar Bears, they're on a 6-game winning streak. And I think the strong play as of late for both of these teams really helping them succeed and execute their game plans and make it all the way to the NCAA tournament, as both these teams are squaring off in this first round. As Sewanee with a substitution, Susie Whitsett, senior forward, coming in for the Tigers, trying to get an offensive spark off of the bench. Possessed in the midfield by Roberts. Over to the far side for Johnson. Johnson tries to dump it in to her sprinting teammate Gast. Gast is unable to track that ball down. Ohio Northern switches the field. Some one-touch passing with Wiseman. Wiseman to Pierce, back to Wiseman. Unable to get around Carter. Still maintaining possession here with Roberts. Stolen away, though. Here come the Tigers with Monahan. Trying to get it over to the other side of the field. Wasting a little bit too much time, though, and Polar Bear defense able to get back. Moving up to the right flank. The ball will roll out for a Wiseman throw. She throws it to Hennigan. Just play some tic-tac passing that'll be put out by Gervers for Sewanee possession. Still the 1-0 lead with about 22 minutes left in this first half. Sewanee have been definitely controlling most of the possession in this half. But it's not reflective on the scoreboard. Deep cross in by the back line. That ball was looking for Whitsett. So again, it's Thompson trying to boot it in. Some outstanding dribbling from Hennigan, or Wiseman rather, to get around Tiger defense, but then Hennigan clears it up and right to the feet of the Tigers. Sewanee again just unable to beat this pressure from the Polar Bears. Good job coming up and forcing that ball to go out of play. As for the Polar Bears, Riley Glassburn, the junior forward, number 7. She checks in to this game. Some different looks now up in the forward position for the Polar Bears. Still only 3 shots total for both sides in this game. 2 coming for Sewanee, none on target, and then just the 1 goal and 1 shot for the Polar Bears by Flanagan. Referee's going to say the ball went out of play there. Carter trying to save it. Nice touch there to keep that ball back centered in towards a teammate, but the ball just sailed out of play. Oftentimes, as it does when the ball is hooped up on this sideline, it can be hard to keep it in for any length of time. Ball back with the Tigers, who again will try to get things going offensively. They have some space here. Good defensive effort from Hennigan. Polar Bear defenders are coming up and making the plays they need to, stepping in and getting some big deflections. Now we have a clock stoppage as one of the Tigers players looks a little banged up on the elbow to get some bandage action going on. Ball's thrown in. Sewanee again winning a throw a little further up the right flank. Jurasovic fighting for it with teammate Carter. They both lose possession, and again, Ohio Northern doing a good job of keeping the ball stuck in the corners for the Tigers. They're not allowing them to get the centering pass in. Sewanee opting to mostly play from those corners, and the Polar Bears at the moment perfectly content to let that happen. Wiseman taking the throw. She goes long. No teammate there. Jurasovic unable to control that. Ohio Northern now trying to get going offensively. Sewanee, a similar tactic on the defensive end we've been seeing from the Polar Bears. And now a couple of substitutions for both sides for Sewanee. Christina Wilkerson, 28. Freshman defender. She'll come in. And then for Ohio Northern, Haley Cannon, junior forward, checks into the game. Ohio Northern maintaining possession with another throw. Trying to add to their already 1-0 lead, but cleared away by the Tigers. The ball now rolls all the way back. About 30 yards out from the Ohio Northern goal. Dispossessed by that Polar Bears defense and a little out of position. But the Tigers can't take advantage with the turnover. Polar Bears now coming out of their backline setup, moving forward offensively. Ball up to the left flank. Crossed in. It's Cannon with it. Active play on the left side. Puts a ball. Trying to shoot it in onto goal. But it'll sail A little wide left of the near post. Goal kick right to the feet of Cannon, but still possessed by the Tigers. It's Martin and Cannon fighting for it. Polar Bears coach is a little upset with a no call there. He thinks perhaps some pushing and shoving and a foul was committed. And then a foul going against the Polar Bears there. Riley Glassburn got up underneath. Looked like Sarna Jurasovic. So alleviating the pressure for the Tigers defenses that are able to move forward offensively. Big kick by Thompson. Finds the head of Wilkerson. The ball deflected out of play for the fourth free kick of this first half for the Tigers. Still yet to find a shot in onto goal and yet to force goalkeeper Emma Gramke really to make any kind of play so far. They'll look to change that here. Once again, it's Richards to take it. She boots it long this time. Right into the middle. Was Thompson there. Got her head right onto the ball. Just was not able to guide that in onto goal. But definitely the best offensive chance. And best offensive look the Tigers have gotten in this game. Just an inaccurate shot to follow it up. On displays, I talked about a little bit in the pregame, both teams' defensive prowess. Ohio Northern conceded a little bit more this year than the Tigers have, but they do find themselves up a goal. Tigers' defense has been so good. The shot that they faced, though, was rather unexpected and caught goalkeeper Atkins off guard. Once again, it'll be another corner opportunity for the Tigers. See who's the one to take it this time around. It will be Richards again, so Richards taking both kicks on both sides. They play it short. First time doing so this half. Shot opportunity there for Pulliam. Blocked away, though. Dumped back in long. And then Gramke able to come up and grab that. Ohio Northern getting ready for another substitution. Looks like Nora Metcalf getting ready on the sidelines as Tigers are once again awarded another free kick. About 20 yards beyond midfield. They're going to set up players all across the 18-yard box and beyond. All of which are converging towards goal. That ball centered right into the middle of the box. No Tigers players really waiting for it, but Gramke almost lost that ball. What would have been perhaps a disastrous result. But she managed to hold on to it. She caught it cleanly and then almost just dropped it. But no harm, no foul. And on the far side, it looks like Polar Bear player banged up just a little bit, took some contact. The referee's going to stop clock, just bodies flying into each other. A little winded, perhaps on the far side. Looks like that's Jill Roberts, the one who went down. Chandler Clark now for the Polar Bears getting ready perhaps to replace Roberts, but Roberts will stay out there at least for the moment. Polar Bears free kick. They boot it well into the box. Ball still not possessed by either side. Here's Cannon. And Cannon was positioned offside when that ball entered, so ball will go back to the Tigers, who are still looking for that equalizing goal. Still yet to get a shot in onto target to really force Gramke to work. They're trying to change that with a breakaway here. Good move there. Whitsett, she crosses it in, finds its way all the way to the backside of the box, and a heavy touch by Polium. She had a chance there with a little bit softer of a touch, perhaps to keep that ball in front of her. Get some space for a shot. Once again, Gramke coming up, making the play, stealing that ball away. Tigers moving forward. Since the early stretches of this game where the Tigers really dominated possession, it's been a lot more back and forth since then. Cannon trying to move her way forward. She beats both defenders. Headed out by that back line, but then an interesting move. Martin putting that ball back in further into the box. So we now have a couple substitutions for both sides. For Sewanee, it'll be Karis Yappin and Mia Ramirez both coming in. And for Ohio Northern, it's Metcalf. Clark coming into the game. Cannon, good pass. She found Bowman, who got stopped up right in the middle of the box, but then Cannon took a foul and wins a dangerous free kick position for the Polar Bears, who are stacking up on the far side of the box, trying to create some confusion on that backside and perhaps get somebody to cut in unless they try to take a shot from here. They'll go for the pass and just sails over the heads of everybody once again. Set pieces for the Polar Bears have been not the most accurate of balls each time around. It's been mostly just the ball sailing over the heads, just a little overzealous in some of those kicks. Bowman running in there. Metcalf now with it. She tries to boot it up onto the flank. Looking for Clark. Clark does a good job putting some pressure up there. As well as Glassburn. Riley Glassburn, the junior forward. Clark there. Moving up on the far side flank. Can't keep it in play. Just about 5 minutes left to go in this first half. Still just the 1-0 ONU lead. Off of the Flanagan goal. And what a strike that was. Libby Johnson also credited with the assist off of that goal, setting up her teammate Flanagan, but then Flanagan really doing most of the work, pulling up. Quite a ways out, slotting it home. Ohio Northern upset, thinking that ball was touched off the hand of Jurasovic. Center referee disagreeing. They still won the ball back, though. And done a really good job of limiting Sewanee's offensive chances. Sewanee, at times this season, can struggle to score. Did a really good job in conference play, but early in the season had a lot of low-scoring affairs, 2-0 wins or 0-0 ties. A lot of 1-0 wins on their schedule as well. Just relatively low-scoring games until they got into conference play, where they started to dominate a little bit. A couple 5-0, 6-0 victories. But here today, their offense so far unable to be uncorked. See how that continues as this game continues to progress and as we reach the final few minutes of this first half. Ohio Northern, on the other hand, their offense has been a consistent force for them this season, scoring in just about every single game. And a really good play there by Gramke, coming out and stealing that ball away. But as I was saying, Ohio Northern have scored in every game that they have played this year, and that streak continues. Certainly the offense, their strong suit of their team, but defensively showcasing a lot so far against Sewanee. Again, trying to make a play forward. Hannigan did a good job getting it back to Gramke. Sewanee trying to get going with these last 3 minutes of this first half. Yappin, who had that ball in the corner, still trying to make a play with it, and sails out as Sewanee get ready for a substitution. Reinhardtson. That is Lily Reinhardtson, junior defender, number 12. She checked in for Sonia Jurasovic. Ball by Thompson went right off backside of Polar Bears player, and looks like that's Riley Glassburn who just took the wind out of her. Again, just in a little moment, catch your breath. A couple of those in this game already where it's been a little physical with the ball or with players running into each other, and referee just taking the stoppage to give them a few moments. Really good play there. Trying to get it forward was Martin, but she did lose the ball. It will remain with the Tigers. They really struggled to find a way forward against this Ohio Northern team, which have done a really good job sitting back, understanding that at times this Tigers team is not the most in tune offensively. Curious to see what kind of second half adjustments both these squads make with reactions to this first half. It's Monahan trying to make a move on the ball wearing the face mask. Yappin just can't get the ball forward. And again, the Polar Bear defense coming up stout on the defensive end as we reach under a minute to go in this first half. Both teams now really just trying to not concede. Hate to concede these last second goals, especially in the end of the first half. A lot of momentum can switch at those at those kinds of moments. Ohio Northern will pass it around their back line. And they'll look to move it forward. Clock trickles under 20 seconds to go in this half. Physical play there by Cannon.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
They do have a Tigers player down. The clock will stop with just under 3 seconds left. Cannon using her body there on that play. Knocked down Thompson, who just, again, needed a moment to catch her breath. And just on the restart, there'll be only 3 seconds for anything to happen. So this game will likely go into the half with the score of 1-0. Booted long.
2, 1, 0.
The clock runs out in the first half action of the second game today in the Lexington pod of the NCAA tournament. Ohio Northern, spearheaded by the goal from Julia Flanagan, takes a 1-0 lead into the half. We'll have some highlights and stats for you coming up after halftime. We'll be back here at Alston Parker Watt Field after this.
For the love of the game. That's what it's all about, they say. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that.
It's more about team and the schools and communities we represent.
And for the many of us blessed with the strength to compete in sport at the college level, we understand that with what we were given comes a special obligation.
Our obligation to help those who have their own special needs and whose love for the game is no less intense.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics. Since August of 2011, we and others from Division III campus communities have volunteered more than 250,000 hours, time away from the classroom and practice field, reaching across the country to coach and mentor Special Olympics athletes.
And to learn that in giving, we receive so much more in return. Help us keep that dream alive.
Be part of it.
Get involved.
You can make a difference.
Proportion to me is the lived experience of our Division III student athletes. They balance life from an academic perspective and the rigors of competing at a high level, bonding with teammates and building lifelong friendships. But they also are involved in their communities. They work jobs and internships and volunteer. They've learned to be resilient. Diverse experiences are setting them up for the future.
Passion's love. Passion is love for what you do. Because I think when you face challenges, it comes down to how much you want it and how much you love it. Passion is what keeps you going forward. Seeing so many people that were like-minded and so hardworking in their sport and academics, being surrounded by like-minded people makes you want to be more passionate. I think it pushes you to a different level that maybe you didn't think you had. You can do the best of both worlds and love all of it.
A good citizen is someone who wants to make a positive impact, both in their communities and in the world around them. The Division III approach is absolutely the best approach out there for amateur sport because it wants student athletes to explore all parts of who they are. Be successful in the classroom, be successful in competition, be successful in the community. So our student athletes learn what it means to strive for and attain success, but doing it the right way and being good citizens.
Comprehensive learning is being able to adapt to experiences and apply the things that I learned. Being an athlete and juggling academics helped me grow as a person, and things that I've learned, I was able to apply it in another field, putting them into everyday life. Developing comprehensive learning helped me prioritize certain things to make sure I get to where I want to be.
Responsibility is being accountable for your words and actions, first and foremost. It also is an obligation to be a positive influence in the communities around you. Being in a D3 program, you're going to have lots of different opportunities. You're not just an athlete, you're also involved in student life. Your academics are extremely important. We give a lot of our student athletes responsibilities right from the start by giving them leadership opportunities, by having them engage in the community, being a positive influence. That's being a responsible person.
I believe sportsmanship is a mutual admiration and respect for your fellow competitors. We all go through a lot to reach the point where we compete against one another. It's important to realize that. So once we're finally on the field or on the court or on the starting block, we look at each other as fellow human beings and not just competitors. Being able to recognize the hard work that other athletes are putting in creates a more positive and inclusive environment.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
I'm a current Division III student athlete, and I remember how intimidating the first year of college can be.
So if you're a first-year student athlete and nervous about coming out as LGBTQ, I pledge to stand by your side as your ally.
If you can play Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I believe student athletes can help break down the barriers of exclusion.
I pledge to support and encourage my teammates
to support my campus's LGBTQ student group
by volunteering and participating in events.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I believe that everyone should be educated on LGBTQ issues.
I pledge to work with my athletic department and my campus to foster dialogue and create a community of support, respect, and pride.
If you can play in Division III.
We are Division III student athletes, and you can be too. If you can play in Division III.
For the love of the game. That's what it's all about, they say. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that. A lot more.
Sure, the game is important, but as we work so hard to build both mind and body, it's more about team and the schools and communities we represent.
And for the many of us blessed with the strength to compete in sport at the college level, we understand that with what we were given comes a special obligation.
An obligation not merely to work towards a personal best in the classroom or in the sport we love, but rather an obligation to help those who have their own special needs and whose love for the game is no less intense.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics. For Special Olympics athletes, victory belongs not only to those who first cross the line, but to all of those who compete and endure.
They are challenged in ways we cannot imagine. They are survivors who test themselves harder and with greater joy than we will ever know.
Since August of 2011, we and others from Division III campus communities have volunteered more than 250,000 hours, time away from the classroom and practice field, reaching across the country to coach and mentor Special Olympics athletes.
And to learn, as we all do, that in giving we receive so much more in return.
Sport ennobles us. And in giving the gift of sport to those for whom it seemed an impossible dream, we are working to make this a better world.
Help us keep that dream alive.
Be part of it.
Get involved.
You can make a difference.
Proportion to me is the lived experience of our Division III student athletes. They balance life from an academic perspective and the rigors of competing at a high level, bonding with teammates and building lifelong friendships. But they also are involved in their communities. They work jobs and internships and volunteer. They've learned to be resilient. Diverse experiences are setting them up for the future.
Passion's love. Passion is love for what you do. Because I think when you face challenges, it comes down to how much you want it and how much you love it. Passion is what keeps you going forward. Seeing so many people that were like-minded and so hardworking in their sport and academics, being surrounded by like-minded people makes you want to be more passionate. I think it pushes you to a different level that maybe you didn't think you had. You can do the best of both worlds and love all of it.
A good citizen is someone who wants to make a positive impact, both in their communities and in the world around them. The Division III approach is absolutely the best approach out there for amateur sport because it wants student athletes to explore all parts of who they are. Be successful in the classroom, be successful in competition, be successful in the community. So our student athletes learn what it means to strive for and attain success, but doing it the right way and being good citizens.
Comprehensive learning is being able to adapt to experiences and apply the things that I learned. Being an athlete and juggling academics helped me grow as a person, and things that I've learned, I was able to apply it in another field, putting them into everyday life. Developing comprehensive learning helped me prioritize certain things to make sure I get to where I want to be.
Responsibility is being accountable for your words and actions, first and foremost. It also is an obligation to be a positive influence in the communities around you. Being in a D3 program, you're going to have lots of different opportunities. You're not just an athlete, you're also involved in student life. Your academics are extremely important. We give a lot of our student athletes responsibilities right from the start by giving them leadership opportunities, by having them engage in the community, be a positive influence. That's being a responsible person.
I believe sportsmanship is it's a mutual admiration and respect for your fellow competitors. We all go through a lot to reach the point where we compete against one another. It's important to realize that. So once we're finally on the field or on the court or on the starting block, we look at each other as fellow human beings and not just competitors. Being able to recognize the hard work that other athletes are putting in creates a more positive and inclusive environment.
For the love of the game. That's what it's all about, they say. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that.
It's more about team and the schools and communities we represent.
And for the many of us blessed with the strength to compete in sport at the college level, we understand that with what we were given comes a special obligation.
Our obligation to help those who have their own special needs and whose love for the game is no less intense.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics. Since August of 2011, we and others from Division III campus communities have volunteered more than 250,000 hours, time away from the classroom and practice field, reaching across the country to coach and mentor Special Olympics athletes.
And to learn that in giving, we receive so much more in return.
Welcome back into Alston Parker Watt Field on the campus of Washington and Lee. Just about getting ready for some second half action between the Polar Bears of Ohio Northern University and the Sewanee Tigers. Sewanee down 1-0 to the Polar Bears after a first half goal from Julia Flanagan from well outside of the box, but a missile that sailed right past the hands of Atkins. She had got a finger to it, got her hands on it, but couldn't quite corral it, and it sailed past her head. Take a look at the shots and shots on goal. The one goal, the only shot on goal that we've seen in this contest. Sewanee dominated most of the possession in that first half, but still unable to crack the code of the Polar Bear defense. Take a look at fouls, dead even in that category, or rather, Sewanee, or Ohio Northern only with 4 fouls, and then corners, 5 corners in favor of Sewanee, but still no goal, nothing to show for their offensive effort in that first half. So we take a quick look at how things look around in the NCAA tournament. Other games that have concluded or are currently going on right now. You take a look, Washington and Lee won that game against Farmingdale State 3-0, so they advance to face the winner of this contest between Sewanee and Ohio Northern. Sewanee up 1-0. As we've seen in this game so far, William Smith beat Penn State Harrisonburg 2-1. So they advance. Tufts and Rowan tied right now at 0 goals apiece. And then Pomona Pitzer and UC Santa Cruz also tied with the scoreless draw. Cal Lutheran and Trinity yet to kick off yet. Scranton versus Marywood reaching the end of that game, but Scranton still leading 3-1. And then Wesleyan, Connecticut versus Southern University of New York, Brockport still yet to kick off as well, but a few games already decided and the rest soon to be decided at the end of today's contests. But we're getting ready for some second half action between Sewanee and Ohio Northern University. Both teams still warming up, getting ready to go out there. We got about a minute and a half left on the halftime timer. Take away some of what we saw in that first half. It really comes down to the Ohio Northern efforts defensively to disallow any real accurate balls to be put in by Sewanee. Sewanee had a lot of offensive chances and really controlled possession early in the game, but just were not able to find their way forward and really get the opportunities that they were hoping for. Talk about 5 corner kicks that they were able to manage in that first half, but still no shots on goal. Definitely something that they're going to look to remedy in this second half. An area of struggle. And we have to commend the Polar Bears defense, doing a good job of not allowing the crosses to be made, putting pressure on the pass takers and forcing some inaccurate balls. And then on their own side of the offensive end, and then the defense for Sewanee has been very solid as well. There was the goal, obviously, put in by Flanagan, but it really caught their defense off guard and Atkins off guard. Other than that, their defensive effort has been rather stellar. Just the only shot on goal and only allowed 2 total shots the entire game for the Polar Bears. Some keys for the second half for both sides. The Polar Bears continued their outstanding defensive effort and try to look to generate some more offensive chances of their own, as 1 goal in these kinds of games can oftentimes never be enough. And then for Sewanee, it's going to be trying to unlock their offense, which at times, as I had talked about in that first half, has been quite stagnant. And it seemed that way today. And defensively, really more of the same for them. They did concede the goal, but their efforts beyond that have been about exactly where they could have hoped, as we're just now getting ready for the second half kickoff between these two teams. Ohio Northern, the ones to take it, will be Jill Roberts, positioning herself right in the middle of the field. The final half of the first round action in the Lexington pod of the Women's D3 NCAA tournament. Winner of this game and whatever result comes from this second half will take on Washington and Lee tomorrow here at Watt Field. An early foul committed by the Ohio Northern defense will give, or rather Sewanee defense, will give Ohio Northern a chance offensively. They immediately boot it long. Trading possession. Both sides do. Sewanee will look to make their way forward. In that first half, we saw them do a really good job of maintaining possession, but then once they got up into the flanks where they like to push their attack through, they really struggled to get past the Ohio Northern defense, which found themselves set up perfectly on almost every single chance, which led to the real lack of offensive threats. Did have a couple of balls off of corners that center really nicely, but not forcing any saves to be made by Gramke. It's Hennigan who gets, rather, Jarasovic that gets the ball taken away from her and then knocked out of play. Ohio Northern right now positioned with most of their players in their own half. You have to think that one goal, absolutely not enough in their minds in this game, so certainly not just content to sit back and let Sewanee come at them. But on the flip side for the Tigers, a one-goal deficit certainly not insurmountable, but it doesn't mean that there isn't any sort of sense of urgency on their side. Again, as we saw in that first half, Ohio Northern just pressuring the ball, not allowing these passes to be executed cleanly, and putting Tigers in some difficult situations. And another foul. A couple of early fouls by the Tigers. First 3 or so minutes of the second half. Cabana the one who knocked it long, and then Roberts really couldn't handle it and just knocks it right over the crossbar. As this game continues to go on, I'll also keep you updated on some of the other scores from this region as well. Tufts over Rowan just scored a goal early into the second half to take a 1-0 lead. The winner of that matchup will go on to face William Smith, who earlier beat Penn State Ayresburg. Foul committed by the offense of Ohio Northern will give Sewanee a chance to break some of the pressure. They'll boot it long. Trying to get their offense established. Still, of course, looking for that equalizer. I don't know, see the space on the other side of the field, but an inaccurate cross gets taken away by the Tigers. Good defensive effort in the midfield, though. Bowman wins it back, and now the Polar Bears look to counter. They'll keep it with their back line. Really good move there by Pierce to spin around Tigers defense and center the ball back to Pierce. An inaccurate pass there from Flanagan. But Pierce, a really nice spin move up on the flank. Knocked it back inwards to Flanagan and then found herself free. Once again on that right flank, Flanagan just not able to get the ball accurately to her. They find themselves in some space here. It's Roberts trying to cut her way through. Shut down, though, by Richards for the Tigers. Sewanee defense looking a little porous at the moment. Bringing back all their players now on defense. That ball was stolen by Pierce, but again, a block from the Tigers to not allow that ball to get its way through. Bowman was on the other end of that pass, and Pierce, unable to keep herself onside, will end that offensive attacking chance, but Ohio Northern starting to threaten, starting to figure out a way forward. I think perhaps Coach Tierney at halftime with some adjustments to their offense, seeing what Sewanee had on defense and then telling his players how they can beat it. It seems to be that the quick touch passing and the accuracy of it is helping them early in this second half. Ball looks like it came off of Hennigan, but they're going to say that Tigers knocked that ball out of play. This time the will go in favor of the Tigers. I think here they want to start to try to build good looking offensive chance. Trying to run along the baseline there was Ferry right along edge of the field, and she's unable to keep it in. So again, another big stand by this Polar Bear defense. Again, another foul committed by this Tigers team, preventing them from really building the pressure. Questionable pass there off the free kick, barely won by the Polar Bears, but Pierce cutting up the flanks. She left that for Guest. Or Gast. We can't find a teammate forward. Puts it in again, but once again, nobody there. Ohio Northern right now really doing a good job mounting the pressure. Ball put in by Flanagan, right to the feet of Roberts, and Roberts not able to find a shot. What an excellent defensive effort that time by the Sewanee goalkeeper. Atkins coming up with a huge save there. Roberts knifed her way right in onto goal from a great pass from Flanagan. Just unable to find something with that, but we'll take a look back at the replay. As the ball put right into Flanagan, and then Roberts, a great job keeping herself onside, trying to use her body to create some space, and then Atkins, a huge save there to keep this game at just a one-goal deficit. Depending on how the rest of the way this game goes, that could be a really pivotal moment. Huge defensive stand by the Tigers. And some action from some other games as Scranton versus Marywood just finishes up. Scranton able to hold on for a 3-1 victory, and they will advance to the next round of the NCAA tournament with all second round games commencing tomorrow. Polar Bears Moving forward on offense again. It's Pierce. She crosses it in. Feet of Roberts once again. Sewanee right now really on their back heel. The Polar Bears have found their way forward, it seems, right now. Their first corner attempt of the day. Ball's put in right to the center of the box. Cleared out to the feet of Cannon. She puts it up, gets deflected. Ball still not cleared. And Roberts, once again, active up on offense, trying to get to that ball. The Tigers hold strong. In the second half, it really has been the Polar Bears figuring out their offensive strategy against this Tigers defense, and Tigers have been forced to come up and make some desperate plays, but so far still just the 1-goal lead for Ohio Northern. Again, this right side's been so prolific in this game, especially as of late. Creative idea there from Pierce, trying to find a way forward, put in a unexpected pass. Again, Atkins able to control it. Puts that ball a mile high into the air. Roll almost all the way out on the far side, but saved by the Polar Bears, and looked like Monahan was gearing up to launch one, trying to put it in onto goal there, but a block again by Ohio Northern. As Cara Chafin for the Tigers is coming in. They're trying to get another substitution in, but they're not going to say that they're at the table in time. Again, just some more struggles for this Tigers offense, trying to find some continuity. And again, a foul committed off a throw-in, which will force much of the Tigers players to come back. Ohio Northern has to like the way this second half has gone, creating a couple of good chances and a couple of shots on goal already in the first 15. Still no shots on goal for the Tigers. In a 1-0 game, nothing's guaranteed. Anything can happen. Cannon with it. Possessed by Cabana. Smartly by the Sewanee players that are letting that ball get all the way back to Atkins, who will put it away long again. The clock reaches under 30 to go in this second half. Some space now on the left flank for the newly subbed in Chafin. Her and Fee just not on the same page. Now some substitutions coming in. Both sides for Ohio Northern. It'll be Livy Johnson, who started the game. She'll check back in. And for Sewanee, it's Mia Ramirez coming in, as well as Christina Wilkerson, who both saw some action in that first half. Coming in to replace a couple of starters, give them some rest. And for Ohio Northern, it'll be Cannon who coming back out. Didn't start the game, but started the second half. Some big contributions defensively and even coming up offensively for the Polar Bears. So we'll just launch it back to the hands of Atkins, who's been rather active in the last 10 minutes. The Tigers really just have not had their offense to show for anything in this game so far. Their defense has done their job trying to get a shot up, possessed by Ramirez, and again, the Polar Bear defense closing down. Looks like that one took a deflection. The Tigers again, and the Polar Bears come up what seems like many a times and get a big stop defensively. Again, similar to the last couple of times, the Tigers come up on offense, can't find their way forward, ball goes out for a throw, and then after the throw, they commit a foul, which forces them to position themselves all the way back in a defensive formation. Just because of the fact this free kick can launch all the way into their territory as it does now. That ball takes a deflection off of the Tigers. A diving tackle there by Thompson, throwing that ball back out of play. Again, Sewanee will just dump it out for another throw. Perfectly content to just keep knocking it out of play until they can get a clearance that they like. A wayward pass there. Fortunate that that ball wasn't able to be tracked down by Ferry. And Gramke positioned a little far outside, and Ohio Northern walking the tightrope there a little bit with some of those passes. Still able to control it. Then Flanagan, a little bit frustrated there, taking down Martin. And now Sewanee understanding the importance, clock winding down, and all of their players now up into the other half of the field. Nobody back for them. But they'll opt to play it short. And a couple of crosses that the ball still not controlled by either side. It was Ramirez there on the far end who put the ball into the box, but no friendly teammates able to get onto that centering cross as Cassius Yapin will come back in for Ferry. Ferry's been active up on offense, trying to pressure that Ohio Northern back line. Ohio Northern now back in their defensive position, but a good clearance by Flanagan. It's interesting that Sewanee already, still 25 minutes left in this game on that free kick opportunity, had everybody forward. All they need is one goal to tie this game up. You got to think that if there is another goal scored in this game, whichever side it's for will be absolutely huge for the momentum of this contest. Another polar bear goal at this point for the Tigers would be not the end of the world, but certainly demoralizing. And then, obviously, if they're able to find an equalizer, this game is anybody's game, as it still even is. And that ball took a deflection off the Polar Bear defense. So once again, a deep corner throw opportunity. The final third for the Tigers. They go short. Deflected away. Still maintaining possession here. Crossed it into Ramirez. She tries to get it to Fee. Brianna Fee. I'm going to say committing the foul there. And again, some of these mistakes on the Tigers' offense are not allowing them to keep building the pressure, which oftentimes can lead to a goal. They get forced to be put back because of these free kick opportunities that Polar Bears are getting, and a really good defensive play there in the midfield by Bowman. But one back by the Tigers. They don't really have numbers for, but they're still going to try it anyways with Yappin. That ball just inside of the 18-yard box, and fortunate that it was for Gramke. She was well out of position. If Yappin was able to get a foot to that, that would have been a dangerous opportunity. It's Ramirez now, playing it up the left flank. Chafin. She can't track it down, though. Just a little bit of miscommunication, a little bit of a late break by Chafin there. That's Glassburn. Riley Glassburn for Ohio Northern comes back into the game. She saw some action in the first half as well. Big foul committed there in the midfield. Again by the Tigers. Starting to rack up the foul calls as of late in this second half. Already more fouls committed in the second half than in the first for the Tigers. Up to 11 total on the day. Still about 20 minutes to go in this half. No cards, though, yet for either side. Most fouls really haven't been in dangerous positions. It's just been really when they've been attacking. The key to this game for Sewanee really will be just executing some of those passes into the final third. Ohio Northern has done such a good job today, a really commendable effort shutting down those opportunities, but another chance moving forward here for the Tigers. Fortunate to win a throw there. They're really trying to put the ball deep into the corners, which really hasn't been the most effective strategy for them this game, but they're sticking to it. Just have not been able to get that last cross in, and when they have, there just really hasn't been anybody there to receive it. They've certainly had a plethora of opportunities. They just haven't taken advantage. Whereas on the flip side, the Polar Bears, maybe not as many opportunities, but doing a better job of executing when they do get the chance. And oftentimes that's what it can come down to just execution. They're possessing the ball well, but still searching for that goal. For Ohio Northern, you have to just respect the job that they've done defensively. Sewanee keeping it in, keeping the pressure up, but Cannon gets the chance to clear it and tries to do so. Sewanee backline doing a good job of not allowing that to happen. And right after that shot, Thompson seemed frustrated with herself, just not really getting the power under her that she wanted. Gramke again will come up and grab it, and she'll boot it long. We got a substitution now for Ohio Northern. It'll be Metcalf, who saw some action in that first half. She'll replace Flanagan. Metcalf generally playing in that midfielder role along with Flanagan, so maintaining their formation with that substitution. And a really good possession there by Cannon. She tries to center it over her teammate, Glassburn, who was making the run towards the middle. And Atkins comes up and gets the ball, urging her teammates to push forward, but not the ideal kick she was hoping for. And Cannon takes a really big shot. It was Fee, the one who came up and laid the hit. Well, after Cannon let go of the ball. And that ball sailed all the way into the back post and trickled all the way over to the other side where it was able to be slotted home. Take a quick look at that replay. The ball's put centered into the middle. And a save there by Atkins, but the ball not cleared out by Sewanee on the defensive side. Oh, here's the correct replay. Ball's put in, a save by Atkins, staying at the near post, and no Sewanee player there able to clear it. And it finds the back of the net for a crucial second goal for the Polar Bears. As I said earlier, the next team to score a goal, the confidence for that team is only going to continue to just build and build after that moment. And we see Ohio Northern again. Opportunities few and far between, but taking advantage of it when it happens. And it's Brianna Gervers who's credited with that goal, staying in position. The lack of Sewanee's ability to clear the ball proved to be fatal for them on that play. And what's going to be awarded as a yellow card here against Sewanee. Their bench not really happy with that call. Stella Martin, the one who picks it up, used her body to try to get to that header, but didn't make any contact with the ball. For Ohio Northern, everything right now going in their favor. They've done a really good job of just taking what Sewanee's given them and executing their offense exactly how they've needed so far. Still about 15 minutes left to go in this one. Anything can happen as the ball remains in the Tigers' box. Crossed back in by the Polar Bears. Sewanee now looking to get on the break. They do have some numbers here, but Fee just not quick enough to the ball. And now they move up the right flank as they've done a lot this half. Yappin, who has it knocked away. Flanagan, or rather Hennigan. You got to think that Sewanee now dying down 2 goals are going to be much more aggressive offensively. As opposed to trying to work it around, they might just play a little bit more of a direct kind of offense, just pushing their way forward. That second goal for the Polar Bears, though, perhaps very crucial as this game gets down into its final moments. Now some space again for Ohio Northern, but a great defensive effort there by Jarasovic. With Jarasovic again, you can't find a teammate in the middle of the field. It's Monahan who gets tripped up. Another set piece opportunity here coming for the Tigers. And with that second goal, it's the first time all year Sewanee have conceded more than just 1 goal in a game. Before this contest, there's a long shot taken there. It was Martin pulling up from distance who picked the yellow card earlier. That shot not finding the target. Flanagan check back into the game, but first time all year long, 2 goals have been scored against this Sewanee team. They've only given up 4 total goals before this contest in all matchups. But their defense today is not as stout as it's been all year long. At this point, it doesn't matter. They need to find some offense. Cannon, a little bit weak on that pass, not able to find her streaking teammate. Sewanee now trying to get away again on the break. And the crowd reacting to that foul call against the Polar Bears, not too pleased, some of those fans. Foul going against Jess Gast, and once again, another set-piece opportunity here. Trying to get across to find a head in onto goal. Found the feet of Faye, but unable to do anything with it. There's a couple players colliding and Tigers player going down. Referee not seeing that action, though, and then close to the box. Really has been an all-around effort for the Polar Bears offensively. 5 different players with each of their 5 different shots on goal. And of course, the 2 goals scored, one by Flanagan and then the other by Gervers. Gervers' goal, the second one though, and making this comeback for Sewanee that much more difficult, especially considering that they still just have only 1 shot on goal. Possession's been a little more even in this second half, but Sewanee has still done a really good job of building up longer possessions in the Polar Bears half. Polar Bears, as I said it many times, have just been a little more efficient in their offensive chances, and that's proven to be the difference in this game so far. And now Sewanee making a goalkeeper substitution. It'll be Emily Scott, the freshman keeper, checking in for Leah Atkins. Leah Atkins coming out of the game, switching things up in goal. Be curious to see the motivation behind that. Roberts has been very active offensively for the Polar Bears, making her way back into the game, replacing Glassburn, who is a key contributor. A couple of those chances for the Polar Bears. Both teams get ready to make their final push towards the end of this game with about 10 minutes to go. Still a lot of soccer left to be played and a lot more chances for both sides in this game. Opting to play that quick do the Tigers. Maintaining possession right outside the box, but very good pressure right now from Ohio Northern, just swarming the ball and keeping it out. Any potential shot opportunities. Sewanee's only shot on goal was from a ball that was well beyond the box and sort of just forced right in to the hands of Gramke. For Sewanee right now, goalkeeper Emily Scott positioned right in the middle of the field, so almost acting as an extra defensive back player, if you will, with their team pushed up on offense. Just an extra body back there, and just in case the ball happens to trickle that far back as it did just a moment ago. Opting to play out as opposed to being back in the general goalkeeper position. And Fee uses her hands, and they're not going to rule that ball foul. It'll remain with Sewanee, so the sense of urgency for the Tigers certainly at its highest in this game. Another substitution getting ready. Starter Olivia Fee. She checks back into the game, replacing Christina Wilkerson. Most of the starters now for Sewanee back into the game as their offensive spell draws an end. Content is Gramke to take her time on this free kick, on this goal kick. Polar Bears trying to ice this game in the last 7 minutes. Tigers trying to fight their way forward. Grab 2 goals and an equalizer. Winner of this contest will go on to face Washington and Lee tomorrow here at Watt Field. Some second round tournament action. Tigers still needing to find some sort of spark offensively, something that they just not have had this game. Polar Bears have stayed firm in their defensive formation and have done a really good job of not allowing Sewanee to get comfortable offensively. Still plenty of time left in this game for the Tigers to find their way forward and come back into this game. As goalie Emily Scott will come up to take this kick to allow all of her fellow teammates to move forward and perhaps be on the end of this pass. Ball will take a bounce at the feet of Ferry. Doesn't roll out of play, and Cabana will take her time in her clearance. Richard trying to control it. Dangerous ball there. Roberts almost able to get on the end of that. Scott so far out of her box. Anytime that Ohio Northern is able to get the ball, could spell danger for the Tigers with Scott so far out of her position. Ohio Northern have really executed their game plan to a T. Just playing their game, letting Sewanee come at them and trusting in their defensive capabilities. Sewanee all game long have trying to force their way forward and just cannot find that path to lead them to finding a goal. So the clock continues to wind down. Scott again to take it. Ohio Northern position tight on defense up against these Tigers players. Pulliam on the flank, right into the hands of Gramke though. Pulliam did a good job creating some space, trying to get that cross in, but Gramke exactly where she needed to be. Sewanee again. Looking to get forward, and with Cannon now all alone. She'll just hold the ball into the corner, trying to waste some time here. And it will be Sewanee throw. And in goal, it's actually Abby Jones, not Emily Scott, for Tigers. The wrong number on my roster sheet is a platoon substitution now coming in. Some defensive substitutions for this Ohio Northern team. We're just trying to close the door in these last 2 minutes. He's still fighting. It's probably their best opportunity here on a breakaway with some slight numbers advantage, but Ohio Northern really content to keep most of their players back. Just going to make coming forward really difficult. Tigers really going to have to start thinking about bringing most, if not all, their players up for these offensive chances that they've done in the past couple minutes. Even more imperative to do so now. balls trickle out onto the field, so play will be stopped. Resumed once again, though. Ohio Northern really just content to knock all these throws out of play, waste as much time as possible. The amount of time it takes to set up the throw-ins. Really good clearance, steal there of the ball by Bowman. So the clock continues to wind here with just about a minute left to go in this game for Sewanee to find 2 goals.
One minute remaining in
The sense of urgency right now for Sewanee, not exactly where you want it to be. Need to find something here quickly. But just these clearances by Ohio Northern making it really difficult. You got to think that if they've struggled this much in this game to find an offensive chance, it'll be really hard in these last 30 seconds. Ohio Northern defense standing tall once again here, just closing in on any chances that Sewanee are trying to build. Reaching the last 10 seconds of this game. Can Sewanee grab an equalizer? Or even just a consolation goal at this point, and Gramke will close the door on those hopes as Ohio Northern University come into Washington and Lee and take down the Tigers of Sewanee University. The final score of 2-0 after some excellent defensive play demonstrated by their backline all game long. Sewanee really struggled to find offensive chances. They did end up having more shots, a total of 10 to just Ohio Northern's 8. But as I said earlier in this game really came down to the fact that Ohio Northern took better chances, or were more effective and more efficient with their chances than Sewanee were. Sewanee possessed the ball for majority of the game, but were just unable to uncork their offense and find a way forward. If we take a look back at one of the pivotal moments in this game, it certainly has to be that second half goal put home by Gervers. So we take a look at it here again, the long cross in, forcing a save by Atkins, the ball just sitting at that near post, and then Gervers right in position where she needs to be with about 16 minutes left in the game, slotting that ball home and putting the Ohio Northern Polar Bears up by 2, which served to be enough to get the win here and push them past Sewanee to win by a final score of 2-0. So if we take a look around the tournament in this region, how the games have been stacking up as of late, as a few more results have come in since the end of this one. Obviously, Washington and Lee and Ohio Northern will go on to face each other tomorrow at 1 p.m. right here at Watt Field after this big Ohio Northern victory. And, of course, Washington and Lee winning 3-0 earlier. William Smith looks like they'll be facing Tufts in the next round as Tufts able to hold on against Rowan. Final score 1-0. So William Smith versus Tufts. Pomona Pitzer and UC Santa Cruz still knotted up at 0 apiece with about 15 minutes left to go in that contest. Cal Lutheran and Trinity still yet to kick off. And then, of course, Scranton and Marywood. Scranton coming away with the victory there, 3-1. And Wesleyan, Connecticut, and Southern New York, Brockport just about getting ready to get underway there. That's how things stand in this region for the NCAA tournament at this current moment. But that just about does it for us here at Alston Parker Wattfield. A long day of action here in Lexington, Virginia. The Generals winning their first NCAA tournament game earlier today, and then this contest between Sewanee and Ohio Northern going in favor of the Polar Bears thanks to 2 goals. one by senior midfielder Julia Flanagan, and then the other one put home by Brianna Gervers. And the Polar Bears of Ohio Northern able to advance to the next round of the NCAA tournament. Thank you so much for tuning in to NCAA.com and NCAA Division III women's soccer action. I'm Shane Riley, and thank you so much for tuning in to all the action that we saw today. Have a great rest of your weekend, and can't wait to see you tomorrow for some more NCAA tournament action as the Washington Lee Generals take on the Ohio Northern Polar Bears.